Yo, yo, yo. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. I don't know if you remember me. My name is Jonathan. I run a channel called Permaslug where I occasionally post about WordPress and Oxygen and all that good stuff. It's been a little while, but boy, am I happy to be back. I have been buried, absolutely buried in some client work, a few of you guys know. And so hoping to emerge out of that. This is a fantastic excuse to get some videos going. I have been working on a few in the background. A couple of them I wasn't quite happy with yet, so that's why it's been a bit quiet. Got some Metabox stuff that I'm cooking up. Obviously got the Oxygen course that's been kind of pending, and that has been actually waiting on the 4.0 RC, so I'm super stoked that that's out. And of course, that is the point of our video here today, our live stream. So happy to see everybody in chat. Got a bunch of people popping in. Yo, yo, yo. Stoked to see everybody. I see that viewer count climbing. It seems like YouTube notifications are going out nicely. Hello from New Zealand. Awesome. Scott, Ben, Jaden, what's up, dude? Taylor? Taylor, I see you with them emojis. Do you have that 6-month badge? Is that what that is? Strata says I was ready to go to bed. Yeah, dude, of course. So let's see. It's pretty late for you. Probably like what? 9 p.m. roughly. Elijah, the room is actually not new. It's the room that I've been in for a long time, but I got some fancy new lights up there, which is what's going on here. Changed up the face lighting, and so things seem new and exciting. I went full YouTuber, if we can call it that, and got some LEDs behind me. So ooh. But yeah, dude, it's a bunch of all around the world. We got New Zealand, India, Greece, US, UK. It's awesome. 11 p.m. Wow, okay. Gotcha, Stratos. Italy, amazing. Appreciate you all being here. So, yeah, like I said, I'm really, really stoked to, be making videos again. The RC I've been patiently waiting for, as I'm sure have many of you. In particular because the Oxygen course, of course, that I have been promising has definitely been in the works, but I've been waiting quite a while to do that because I just figured there would be some UI changes, and there's probably things that would kind of make those videos they just wouldn't stand the test of time is my point. So I wanted to wait until we got as close to RC as possible. Are the red lights red, pink for Elementor? No, actually, good point. Let's go full purple. Hold on, I'm gonna change every single light in this room to purple. Hold up, purple. And then purple, that one's already purple. And then the back one I think is orange right now. Let's go purple. There it is. It looks like blue on that wall. There it is, let's go. Awesome, got that purple action representing. Hopefully I got the correct hex color. Too bad the home kit doesn't let you do hex colors. That would be awesome. 4.0 is so pretty, says Steven. We're about to find out. I wanted to give everybody kind of a chance to join. And actually, I don't know, Elijah's in the chat. Maybe we can bring him on a little bit later once we have a play around with it. So what I want to do today is, of course, explore 4.0. I really haven't spent a whole lot of time in 4.0, except here and there. There was a couple of things that I was not really... A moving gradient. Yeah, that'd be dope. There was a couple of things that I was slightly unhappy with, just in terms of trying to get myself comfortable with 4.0. So I just kind of waited until now. So we'll see how far that goes. Door closed. It becomes a bit of a dungeon in here, Taylor. This room is super weird and doesn't have any windows. So I leave that door open because there's actual sunlight there. All right. So what are you guys most excited about? First of all, but while we're still warming up here, what are you most excited about with this 4.0 RC launch? How much have you played with 4.0? What features do you think are the biggest ones? The one that I've been looking forward to a lot is the repeater ID fix, because there was a case recently where I needed to style a specific set of divs in the repeater, which of course is quite difficult when they all have the same ID. So I am pleasantly, I'm pleased with this, and I'm stoked to get that in production. Yeah, Jason, good call. So if you guys can, drop a like. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I figure you probably subscribed, though, if you're here at this point. And we can go ahead and get right in there. So GSL, the repeater fix. Yep, definitely. Me too. Me too. Anybody else? Let's see. There was when I was going live, I was like, thinking I was like, I'm going to create a poll. There was some poll I was going to make, but I don't remember what it was. So anyway, let's go ahead and move over here. I'm going to change my screen. We're going to go right here. I'm going to leave myself down here in this lower bit because I always cover up stuff in the structure panel, and I don't want to do that again. Scott says, started learning on 4.0 beta 1. Yeah, not a bad idea. I just want Woo 2.0, built some great client stores recently, but Woo needs some work. Yes, it does. So let's see. I have this pulled up here, so the changelog. Let's see, what do we got? Standard 4.0 stuff. Where is the WooCommerce bit of this? Is it even ready yet? Yeah, yes, it is time to get out from under the rock. Absolutely, for me too. I don't know who all was in here when I mentioned it earlier, but I've been buried in client work and trying to get back out of that, kind of ramp up my dev team. Got some exciting news coming on that, so I'm really stoked. A lot of stuff in the works, a lot of internal things that are going on behind the scenes, as internal things tend to do. So we'll see what we can pull up there. Yep, good call, Jaden. I'll drop this link in chat. So there's that. Elijah says no changes between beta and RC for WooCommerce. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, well, let's see here. So let's just quickly scan this. Fix error related to pages with repeaters that have been converted to Gutenberg. Underscores in class names. Didn't even notice that. So good catch, whoever saw that. Issue preventing changes to child element layout. Okay, that's a big one. Related to nestable items, cause repeater to hang. This is something I actually was testing the other day that I couldn't get to work. Do repeaters and MetaBox group fields not work from an options page in 4.0? I could have sworn they did. Maybe I was just doing it wrong, but like I said, I'm trying to get some more MetaBox content out. And one of those things was I was trying to make kind of a restaurant menu. And I was trying like nested groups in MetaBox, but for some reason on an options page, it didn't seem like the Oxygen repeater in 4.0 beta, whatever it was, what is it, beta 1 or beta 2? I can't remember. Didn't seem like it could pick it up. So maybe that's something we could test today. I do have that install here in my Cloudways account, so we could totally take a look at that. PHP 8, interesting. I forgot about that. That'll be cool. We can stop seeing those posts in the Facebook group. That'd be nice. What else we got here? So corrected issue in nice name loss when dragging elements in the structure panel. Okay, cool. Corrected issue causing image and links to be encoded. Alrighty. Code blocks in Gutenberg. Heinrich, woo woo! Welcome back. Good to see you again. Thanks for becoming a member. Awesome. Really appreciate that. There is quite a few members in the chat. I saw Divitus. I saw Taylor. I'm surprised Kyle's not in here. I probably didn't ping him in time, so he's going to miss it. But I'm going to hit you with the wow. There we go. Let's see. Have messed with MetaBox. Yeah, I've been playing with MetaBox a bit. I have a whole site that I built using MetaBox that's not released yet, so we'll see what happens there. So looks like just a bunch of fixes and tweaks. Not that I expected much in the way of new features between the beta and the RC, but I was curious. What is adjusted four-side measure box? What does that mean? Adjusted layout of Oxygen MetaBox, buttons to avoid odd layout. Okay. General styling adjustments. All right, let's take a look at that. So I have the 4.0 RC installed here. Let's just go ahead and hop into a template. This is a brand new install, so this one shouldn't break anything. I know Elijah loves to have me test stuff because I find the bugs. Yes, find the bugs. Yes. All right, so we'll just open up our template here and see what we got. Like I said, I'm not expecting a whole lot to be different between the beta and the RC, but let's see. And the other thing I wanted to do is potentially just try to build a little layout and see how it feels to be using Oxygen when you're starting to put together a real website, specifically in 4.0. So there's some keyboard shortcuts, is there not? I don't even know what they are. So we have Control, C, and V, right, for copy and paste. We'll have to kind of look up the 4.0 original list. What was I going to do? I forget. Ooh, look at that. the size and spacing controls, our padding controls are much wider. Is that true both when there's a div with margin and... Oh, okay. So I guess for the padding. Interesting. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. If you want to use variables, all you automatic and anybody that uses variable users will be super stoked to see this. So if you change your parameter here to none for your spacing, once you click in it, then you can just be like space dash s, you know, something like that. You can actually read the whole thing. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Elijah, you're welcome to come on with me, dude. You're always welcome. Okay, so that's nice. I'm glad this is back to normal because in the beta, the padding and the margin were, you know, all 4 options were in one line and they were stacked on top of each other. And it like seriously broke my brain when I was like, where did the fields go? So yeah, anybody that uses variables, all you automatic CSS users are definitely going to be stoked on this, I think. I think that's a very welcome change. So what was the other one? I saw something to do with classes here. Where underscores were not visible in the class name and selector dropdown. Oh, okay. I actually didn't even notice that. Let's just go ASD. Okay, interesting. Yo, Kyle, there you are. I knew you'd show up eventually. Johnny boy. Oh, gosh. Glad to have you. My resident troll is here, y'all. How's everybody doing, first of all? We got a bunch of people in here. 45. Oxygen 4.0. I told Kyle I had a goal today to get a video up. This is not what I intended, actually. I was actually planning to make a regular tutorial video. We're going to do some other stuff, maybe some of which we could actually get to today. Just kind of use 4.0 and see what it's like in a production environment. And then I can turn them into little mini videos. Double the purpose. Let's go. All right. So what else do we have? I was thinking there would be other things that we could take a look at. I think we should just start using it, just see how it feels. Oh, the other thing was, isn't there something to do with Srcset in here? Hello, hello, Vicky from Barcelona, and Dehunsi, hopefully I said your name right, from Nigeria. Welcome in. I think we have a global audience today. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't really know what the deal is with Srcset, but there's a bunch of new options on our image controls. So I am going to have no shame here, and I'm just going to quickly Google Srcset. Srcset, I guess is how you properly pronounce that. People are probably going to be like, oh my God, you don't know what that is? Is it just automatically responsive? Does it automatically pick the correct image size for you at different breakpoints? Is that the general idea? It's kind of what I'm gathering. Center. Oh, there's a bunch of options here. So object position, aspect ratio. This is actually really interesting because a lot of times when you wanted to be able to control the width and the height of your divs and have images appear in there, I would just use a div and set it as a background because, of course, it was really difficult to do that with the images. But the object position, I guess you could have just done that with CSS, but my default was just always to use divs. Hello from Kurdistan, Iraq. Amazing. Elijah says the add panel has changed too, waiting to see if you would notice. Actually, that's funny you say that because I didn't notice, but this is more like it was before. But if I'm not mistaken, you now no longer have to scroll to get to inner content and code block, which you definitely had to do before. So this is kind of a hybrid between Oxygen 3.9 and earlier, and then, what changed at the 4.0 beta and alpha. So this is pretty cool. So how can we take advantage of the Srcset? That's what I'm going to just call it. If it's Srcset, then that's the way it is. Oh. Can you still not do this? It kind of doesn't seem like you can. I thought that was something that came up. Am I just wrong in that? Am I just been blabbing about something that's not even there? It went to 2 columns instead of, okay, gotcha. Yep. Makes sense. I don't have a featured image on this, so I bet it's not going to work. Size. Let's quickly, there was, okay, Srcset before, but now it works on dynamic images. I see. All right, so let's quickly just go toss an image on this. Actually, I don't even know if I have an image in the media library on this site. Use the media library and Srcset is used automatically, says Elijah. Dope. Okay. Let me just grab some photos real quick. And I'm going to get this one. It's vertical. And then let's find a square one. Let's get an aeroplane. That one's fine, even though it's got some branding in it. It's all good. Let's do that. We'll toss those images in, and then when you use the media library now. So, okay, this is something I haven't quite played with, so I'm actually really interested to check this out. So let's get back into our template again. The ad layout is great. It's the best way. I usually search by typing the name. I agree with you. Oh, I forgot to set my, page's featured image. So let's do that. Let's pick the aeroplane, and of course I can't click update because of oxygen lock. Urgh! Need hydrogen back. Haven't been able to use that. Can I do it now? Looks like I can. Okay. Gosh. I always forget about that, and then when I don't have hydrogen pack installed, I'm like, yeah, I pretty much always use the search in the ad pane as well to go like code block. The thing that I can't stand is there's no keyboard controls still, Elijah. I don't know if anybody else does that, but like especially when I type in, oop, not there. Especially when I type in link, I really want like, you know, text link, I'm going like right arrow and it's not working. So hopefully one day. Yes, post-lock rage is very real. Okay, so media library, post featured image. I think most plugin developers have been waiting for the 4.0 RC before they spend much time trying to make it work. So now, oh, there's lazy load by default? Am I just a clown and didn't know that? Also, hey, Elijah, you talked about me finding your bugs. All I did was click lazy load and now there's a blue border on the page. Let me refresh and see if that's still there. So to make sure I understand this Srcset thing, I shouldn't have to do anything except just make this work. Ooh, interesting. Oh, okay, it's the styled via ID thing. Bloken, that's very bloken. Okay. So what you're telling me is this image should change in its intrinsic size based on my browser width. So you can kind of see it here. That's super, super cool. Okay, so at 1920, it's going to be 1920 wide, and then 300W, 300 width, 768. What am I missing here? So we have 3 sizes. Is there a better way to handle this? Oh, okay. I gotcha. Rendered size. So is it actually creating an entirely different image, or is it automatically resizing this? And I assume it's positively affecting the file size as well. Is that right? Taylor says, are you sponsored by United? No, but if they want me to use their branding, I'll definitely take a sponsorship. You're missing a brain. That's true, Kyle. Very, very true. Josh, so like in other cases where you're creating like the custom image sizes and you can register like, you know, custom image sizes, that's what you're doing, I assume. So we must have to dig into that a little bit later. Yeah, okay, okay, that's what I thought. Just like it's always done, but now it's actually taking advantage of that. Okay, I'm following. Yes, I do need a new chair. But the thing is, somebody else mentioned this recently. I forget who it was. I haven't bought a new chair because this one's still comfortable. It's a piece of junk, but it looks like a piece of junk anyway. But it is still totally comfortable. Holy crap, we got 96 people on here. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have all of you. Hopefully you're as stoked as I am about this. I really just wanted to see more about this. This Srcset stuff seems really cool. And what are the default image sizes that it registers by default? I don't think there's a way to see that, because we can register other ones. Kyle, yeah, I thought it was you. What was your solution again? I forget. I am going to... Yo, from Switzerland. Heck yeah, I'm going to be there this summer. I'm stoked. Where do you live in Switzerland, if you're willing to share? This is actually going to be interesting. I'm going to grab a couple of these. This was a website that I'm working on for a personal project, and I'm going to grab some of these images out of this site, and we can go ahead and get some stuff into our media library, and we can kind of build some stuff in here. Yeah, Josh, that's what I thought. You had to use custom functions. Go to media in settings. Is that really all you have to do? Okay, yep, there it is. Yeah, it would be nice if we had the ability to set more custom sizes here. That'd be pretty cool. But I do see that. Let's actually, yeah, let's add that image again, because I do want to check that. Post featured image. And why is it not pull? Oh, there it goes. Took a second. That was kind of weird. Close to Geneva. Awesome. I'm not 100% sure yet where I'm going to go, but I'll be in Porto for WordCamp Europe. So if anybody else is going to be there, I would love to see you guys. But I will definitely be there. And then me and some friends are going to go to Italy and Switzerland is the plan. Oh yeah, okay, so look at this. The file size here is 21 kilobytes, and it's the rendered size you can see there. And then if we were to change our viewport, if we refresh, look at the image again, then you can see the file size is a little bit bigger and the rendered sizes are different. So I definitely want to play with this more and see how it positively impacts page load size and stuff like that in the future. Okay, so, whoa, let's go. That $20. Thank you so much. You rock. Dude, I apologize. I forget your first name. I want to say it's Jason. I kept wanting to think Jonathan. I was like, I don't think there's another Jonathan in chat. But I appreciate you very much, dude. Yeah, so what else should we take a look at? Maybe you guys have some input on this, because what I wanted to do is just use Oxygen, play with it, see how it feels to be building in the 4.0 beta. Yeah, chair fund. Let's go. Get Jonathan a new chair. Chair shopping sucks, though. It really, really does. Joshua, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Let me know what you guys want to see. Otherwise, I'm just going to start building some stuff, and let's see what we can get after. Also, I'm going to move myself. Webcam. There we go. I'm going to move myself out of the structure panel, because I always find myself covering the structure panel like a total clown. The other thing we could take a look at is the repeater fix. That was already working before. With the $20, you'll be able to take one coffee in Switzerland. That's hilarious. It's funny because my brother was telling me, he was like, dude, Switzerland is so expensive. He was like, you're going to be shocked. And I was like, am I? He was like, yes, yes, you are. So that's funny. Okay, let's go ahead and do this real quick. There's some pretty cool stuff here with these, like, you know, like bent gradients and stuff. You want to see my kitchen? Let me decide real quick if I'm going to show you my kitchen. I'm going to hide my backside real quick. Should I let you guys see my kitchen? No is the answer. No, I don't think so. Not at the moment. It's not awful. I don't live in filth, for the record. I just am. We'll do a real life live stream one day, not today. Maybe the 10,000 subscriber stream we'll do it. Okay. Yes, we're gonna do a quick build and just kind of see how this goes. So I got a couple of these images. I'm just gonna re-download these. I know that they're on my computer somewhere. Let's just close out of those. And then I'm gonna toss in an image. Does the kitchen match the chair? Fortunately, the kitchen looks way better. Let's go ahead and toss these images in our media library, and we'll get some building going on here. Austria, welcome in. Sansi, corn all day. Yeah, I agree. I guess the question is it red sauce or green sauce? Okay, so we got our logo. Let's take a quick look at this. So we'd have our header. See, how did Ren do these? Of course, they're rectangles. Oh, dude, yeah, corn are definitely the way. So I guess realistically, what we could do is, oh, actually, I have a question for you guys. How often are you using sections versus building things with divs manually? I'm actually really curious about that. So if you have a layout like this and you're starting, do you go div or do you go section? I'm curious. What do you guys say? Peter, hi from Hungary. Hi, welcome in. Haven't done a whole lot here. There's 120 people watching. Oh my God. Talk about pressure. I haven't done squat this whole time. Get you a pan with a little oil. Yep. Sections and divs. All right, fair enough. Section, all right. We got basically 50-50 so far. Section. Interesting. I found myself using divs like pretty much always. That's super interesting. Section always, says Anders. Sections, then divs. Yeah. Jaden, let's start a cooking channel. Auto margins on mobile, divs. I just feel like I have so much more control with divs sometimes. But yeah, I totally agree. Section then div. Is there still 75 pixels default? Yeah, there is. I was curious about that. Okay. Yeah, so then in this case, Michael, thanks for joining, becoming a member. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Antoine, exactly. Yeah, that's why I pretty much don't use sections, is I didn't want to fiddle with the default padding that's in it. And then also Kevin has pointed this out quite a bit, but I pretty much always use divs because if we look, there is, I'm going to just toss some stuff in this and we jump into inspect. If we look at the markup here, it's actually adding an additional div, which of course that's not like it's that big of a deal for load purposes or anything, but it's just definitely sticking in another div that is doing other funky things to the layout, which I just kind of felt was weird. So I typically am just going with div. Section then ACSS. Yep, totally. Belint says better for accessibility, but can't you just take a div and change its tag to section? Could you not do that? Just like that? That was one thing I was curious about. Is there some accessibility rule that's not allowed? Because isn't a div just basically a container and it has no semantic meaning on its own? So then you can set the actual tag to be proper, right? And then you would want your inner content to be set to main. Am I wrong in that way? Divception, oh no! Ah, an extra div, what will we all do? Anyway. Let's see. So what I would do in this case is I would go div. I'm going to take this tag. I'm going to go heading. I'm going to stick in another div. And this one's going to kind of be our left container. I'll just duplicate this again. Yo, let's go. May the 4th. I didn't even realize that. Awesome. 8 months. That's amazing. I think you and Taylor might be the longest running members. You, Taylor, and Kyle, I'm pretty sure. That's awesome. You guys are all badasses. So what I would do on this, I now have this tag. Can we double click this? Yes, let's go. So we can double click to rename, give ourselves these divs a nice name. Actually, it's funny because I find myself renaming these divs all the time, especially for clients. If there's anybody coming behind me, it's so handy, even for me later, where I'm like, what in the world is this div doing? I can't quite tell. So then I would just call this one like left and right. This is actually way more smooth. The other thing I want to do is get this page full of content and see if the builder lag has gone away. I assume it's probably partly to do with the JSON switch, but there was a big client side I was working on the last couple weeks. It had a couple different repeaters, all kinds of elements. It was huge content. And dude, in 3.9, it was just like, it was almost unusable sometimes. It was so slow. But let's see, what is our page width here? 1280. Okay. So then what I would do is, I think, would I just do it to this header? I think so. I have been adding a class that I call max width. I set the width to 100%. Size and spacing, I go max width of 1280 pixels. Margin left and right, I go auto. And then that should be all we need. It doesn't really do a whole lot here in the back end because, of course, our browser width is such that it all fits. But on the front end, you can see in just a little bit, this is a nice way to kind of restrict that section. Max width class is super easy to use. So then this rectangle is about how wide? 530 pixels. So you could do this a lot of ways. You could, again, oh, I always forget there's a gap thing here. You know, actually, this is something that I played with a little bit in the beta 2. Was it beta 1 or beta 2? I can't remember. Either way, in beta, when this gap thing came out, I kept going like I was about to set this to a width of 580 pixels or, 100% or whatever. I was like, damn it, the gap, that's not where it goes. So hopefully, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I feel like width and gap should swap places because width was always there, and it's definitely a muscle memory thing that is going to be a little bit hard to break if the Oxygen team does #Oxygen things and leave it as it is. So we'll see about that. But what I actually wanted to do in this case was go width 100%, max width of 580 pixels. And then we can set our background color and figure out how to do that little clip path for the border there. Renee says, is it the official release? No, this is the RC1, so it's really, really close, but not official. Thanks, Kyle. This is that company that I told you about. My best friend and I are starting JDM car importation. We've done a couple of cars now. They've come and gone. We've sold them, got a couple more on the way, and we're going for kind of that like retro 90s vibe. So the pink style is definitely what we're after. So yeah, this is kind of what we're going for. I just figured this would be a great example, not too complex, but definitely some cool things going on for us to try to build and just play with 4.0 and see how far we get. So if you're watching the stream, first of all, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, please drop a like, hit that subscribe button. It truly does help. You hear it all the time across YouTube, but I promise you it really does help. So it would mean a lot to me if you go ahead and do that real quick. Just a very simple like is all it takes. So thank you in advance. So what is our color here? It's called Ebony Clay. So we will go with a background color. Set this as Global Ebony Clay. I love having the color names. And then I assume we're going to use a clip path for this. I think that would be the best way to go about this. So I always just go like CSS clip path generator. And there's one in particular that I'm sure you guys have all used. Yes, it is right here. So we are going to go with parallelogram and then something like this. And we can just simply take that angle and go over here to our left. We'll go to custom CSS and bam. So that's a little bit too sharp. So now we can just play with the percentages. So like 95 roughly. I don't actually know how you would do this in Figma because this rectangle doesn't have any other styling applied to it. Where is the, what property actually sets that? Maybe there's something to do with the white background there that's doing it. I don't actually really care. I was just curious how you would go about doing that in Figma. But that should be good enough for now. And then we can go ahead, toss in our image. So now our media library is data. We'll go, actually not featured image. Wait, let's see. Is it only media library that's Srcset? Because how would I just grab an image out of the media library and still be able to take advantage of the Srcset? Unless I'm mistaken, I think I'm missing something. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my logo, and then how big was it here? So it is 260 roughly, so 260. And then what is our padding on this section? So we got 30 top and bottom, and then we'll just do left, a margin left and right auto. So 30, I know all of you guys are screaming at me because I'm doing this on the ID as opposed to a class or using a framework like automatic. But here we are, that's what we're doing, going as vanilla as possible today. So our div will just go center, and there we go. It's looking all right. I wish I knew the exact angle of that. In fact, actually, it does look a little bit sharper. So maybe it was right. I said like 85% earlier, so perhaps that actually is better. I just think it's too much. We'll go 90. That'll be a little happy medium. So then our div on the right here, you could do a couple different things. Because our parent container is a flex layout, we can actually go ahead on this div and we could go to layout, and then you could go down here to flex grow 1 and it will just take up the available space. Looks like there's a little bit of overflow. I don't know why that is. We could totally find that out here in a little bit as to why. I think I'll leave it as is. Maybe it's to do with the width of this one because it's 580. That'll be fine for now. And then we just have some super basic text links. So in this case, it would make sense for us to go ahead and add in another div inside of our white one. Oh gosh, columns, that's where the div was. So the two column layout here is actually throwing me off because you saw how quickly my mouse just snapped to where I expected div to be. So that's gonna be kind of interesting. Is there a shortcut for delete, like keyboard shortcut? Ooh, I just noticed something. The color here on the left is supposed to bleed off the edges. So actually we can do some cool stuff. We could do a before pseudo class or pseudo whatever. And we can actually get the color to extend off the side, which is something that I wanted to do in a separate video, was covering pseudo classes and pseudo selectors, kind of see how that rolls. So we'll get to that in just a second. This one on the right, we'll go to div. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to. I guess I just need to slow down ever so slightly, and we'll just see about that. So, okay, this right div, we're going to rename this one to our links container. Actually, this feels much nicer to be typing in the nice name field here, because in the past, especially in 3.9 on larger sites, you would type and then the text would go in. It was like this crazy lag, so I'm happy to see that. Now we can go with a text link. So I'm going to give this a class of menu link. Will just be fine for that. I've been doing the BEM classes, block element modifier classes as well, just like I know Kevin made a video on that recently, and I'm a big fan as well. So what is actually our fonts on this side? I didn't even look at that. Lexenda Deca. Woo, fancy. Where's my settings? There it is. Global fonts. Lexenda Deca. Is that what all of our fonts are in this case? I'm assuming probably not. Lexend is the display font. Lexend. Cool. And then what other styling do we have on our menu links here? 700 font weight and font weight 700. Font size is already 16 pixels, so I'm not going to bother with that. We'll go uppercase, and then I'm just going to make it black. I'm not super concerned with this at the moment. So now I will rename this one. We're going to go home. I'll just duplicate this 2 times. We will go with inventory, and then our last link is going to be contact us. I'm going to go on our links container to horizontal, and then this is where gap comes into play. So I made a video on this before. I'm super stoked to see gap added into the actual interface here. So whatever our gap is, we don't actually have to bother with margin anymore. It's 48 pixels. So all we have to do is 48 pixels. Alternatively, whatever the rim units is, I think it's roughly like 4, something like that. Then you could just use for rem in that place, and it automatically adds that spacing. So then if you decide that you want to move something, you don't have to mess with the margin surrounding it. You just simply move it and the spacing is respected, which is awesome. So the other thing on our links container is we are 48 pixels from the top and bottom. So I think what I'll do in this case is just go 48, 48, and then we're going to go margin left and right auto as such. I learned there's a font that combines Papyrus and Comic Sans. Dude, we need that. That sounds like an amazing font. Comic Sans. Oh man, it's amazing. So we should have some stuff going on here. So this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier, where you can see in the design, of course, this color should bleed off to the left edge for, you know, as wide as your screen could go. But the reason why it's actually not doing that in our case here is because I went ahead and set that max width class from earlier. So what I have been doing recently, instead of restructuring the whole thing, is I've actually just been using the before pseudo selector. So it's pretty cool. Let's see if we can do this. I'm probably going to F this up because it's live. But what we can do is go with before. We're going to go with the background color of our ebony, which is, of course, a global color. We do need to give this a width and a height. So if we just for now go something like 500 pixels and our height, let's just go with, I think 100% is going to work. Jaden, good luck on your call. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you soon, dude. Mohammed, welcome in. Glad to see you. What we're going to do is on our before, we're going to go with a layout of absolute. We're going to go with 0, 0, 0 all the way around. And then on our original state, we're going to go with relative. I believe on our before state, we're going to go with a z-index of -1 so that our image still pops up. And then let's see if that helps us. No, what did I do wrong? It might be a little bit easier in inspect, to be honest. Let's see. We'll just go like 1500 pixels. We should be able to see our before state now. Oh, I just need to change my left position, I bet here. Good night, Stratos. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. Let me see if I change this to just a different color for now. I can kind of see what it's actually doing a little bit better. Ooh, you know what? I bet I need to change not my original state to relative, but I bet I need to change my header to relative, which in fact I could just do on this. So let's go with position relative, and then on our div, let's take off our position relative. Is that going to work? And go back to our before state. No. Would you not need width 100 VH? Yeah, I think you're right. Or VW, yep. I did something wrong here in the layout because what I wanted it to do was just bleed off the edge, the left edge only. What if, ooh, you know what I could do? Would it actually just make it easier? Or no, that wouldn't work, never mind. Use percentages for the size and transform it. Come do it for me, Kyle. I am just going to quickly save this and refresh because we kind of screwed it a little bit. Left 0, I see. Width 100. Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna make this make sense here in a second once I figure it out. I think probably the better option is going to be, Because would the max width still apply to the fact that it's outside of this container? I didn't think it would, because if we set the layout on this... Yeah, Kyle, I hear you. Let me make sure I dropped off that here. So before absolute left 0. And then our before background is still the ebony. Oh yeah, yeah. I did have problems with the content thing, but actually, I think you can get around that by just setting a width and a height. So let's go with just like a height of like. I wonder if it needs to be a pixel value. I actually don't think it matters. Are we any closer? No. Leave it to me, y'all. What happens if we drop the max width class off this? I bet it works. Yes. Okay, so I would just slightly need to change the structure of this. Let's do this. Let's simply wrap this. Ah, oh, shit, that's not gonna work. Oh, demonetized. No, there's a bad word. There was a wordy dirt in this. So far, our little test here of Oxygen 4.0 is working perfectly fine. That's actually not going to work. Oh, actually, this is another good test to see how undo responds, because it was so laggy before. And it's super snappy. Look at that. That's really nice. Happy to see that. Okay. So if we just drop off this max width, then our left here, if we wrap this one with another div, I'm thinking. This is exactly what I didn't want to do, was restructure this to make it work. But at this point, we're too invested. We're too invested. Let's go left and right. And then a div instead of a section. You're right. You're right. Try saving and reloading is very sluggish. Ooh, is it? We'll find out here in just a second. Let's remove this, and I want to go with width 50% on this. What did I do wrong to screw up this container? I guess it's just not set as 100% width. What if I now margin left and right auto this guy? It's probably not going to work. There we go. I don't think this is the right max width though, but let's check that. So we'll save, refresh. Is that what you said? Saving and reloading is very sluggish. Seems okay to me. Yeah, so we have no max width set on this. However, we could totally cheat this by adding a section, making it far less complicated. Then realistically, we wouldn't actually need the header. We could go section. Ooh, I forget where it is. Is it layout? Where is it? Where's our full width on the section? I thought it was right there. Oh, there it is. Size and spacing, full width. 0, 0, 0, 0. Get rid of the text. And then, oh no, that won't work. I'm an idiot. It does the exact same thing because we just removed the full width off of it, right? I'll go back to page width, and then you can see it still doesn't work. God, I'm so stupid. It's unreal. I hope all of you guys are laughing at me right now, because I'm laughing at myself. Anyway, I don't even think our section width is right. Okay, and then we could totally cheat this by going background color, and then we could set... Could we? Could we do that? I think that's the wrong thing to do. You could cheat this by going background gradient. You could add the ebony color. You could add the white color. Make the angle 90, and then set this to be, what would this be? Roughly like 35%. And then what would this one be? 35. Something like that. Yeah. And then, is there a little bit of margin here? Why is there a slight gap? Problem solved. Yeah, but where is that gap? Michael, you're right. I want to make this more elegant because than it is right now, because the point of those pseudo selectors is actually really cool, but I am a little bit lost as to what I did. I'll have to go look at my other example from earlier. And then why the hell is there a little bit of space underneath that? That's so odd. Is there section padding still? Did I not remove it all? -5 makes it go positive. That's funny. Let's take a look. Let's go to this left div. We're going to go advanced borders. We'll go set them all to white solid 1 pixel. Actually, let's do a different color so we can see it. Let's go bigger, 5 pixels. And then let's go change the right one to something else. Oh, that's bottom. Nonetheless, it's still there. It seems okay. Then let's save this. Let's refresh and come back. And then I'm going to go to unset and see how long it takes before the borders actually clear. So we're on our left div. Borders, unset. No, doesn't look like it. So that post that was in the Facebook group the other day about how long it took is invalidated. So that's cool. Nice, Kyle, I see you, I see you. Yeah, I really didn't want to use a section anyway. And then let's get back in our header here. These silly things, it's so funny. It's like, I work on these things, I get it right, I come to do it, I screw it up. So where are we at now with our original section? There'll be timestamps if you're watching this later to cut out the screw ups. So let's take a look at our header here. So essentially, Kyle, you said the main portion should be position relative, which it is. The before is content. Yeah, we might have to just style this one with CSS because of the content, I bet. And then you said top 0, left 0. That's what I thought. Set our background color. Transform, translate X -100 VW position absolute. It's funny how close it is. So if we go, I'll drop the Z index. Actually, I still need that because our logo needs to be higher than that. Or would I just go 1 and then would our image just be Z index of 5? Yep, nice and easy. Okay, we'll fix that in the editor here in a minute. So you said left and top 0. And then Would you say? Do I have a width set on this already? I do. I think with you, when you have width and height set on these before these pseudo selectors, the content actually doesn't matter. From what I've been testing lately. Translate X would be okay. Seems like that's about right. So then if I stretch this, it's going to disappear off your screen for a second. Yeah, it definitely works. Let's see, got to get it back just about there. Okay, so it definitely does work. It stretches it, and now I just need to get that max width back on the header here. Width 100 VW. Oh, it actually does work though, interestingly, even with the 100 pixels, 100%. It actually does work properly though, even the way it was just set, which is pretty interesting. Maybe the max width is the wrong thing to do here, because then the before gets restricted, does it not? Even though it's position absolute and this one's relative, because none of these other ones, positions not set. So then if I pop this back on, oh, get out of here, class, we'll go max width. It must just be something about the max width at this point overrides it. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that's how you would do it. That's pretty cool. You can stretch those colors like that. So let's keep going. I want to move on a little bit, get into another section here. Oh, also, I forgot there's Control S for save by default. What else do we have? Control D just gave me a section. Why did it do that? Is that the default section shortcut? Error. Elijah. Error. I just Control D'd. Why would it? Oh, Control D is duplicate. Ah, oui, I see. Control D, oops, it's Control S, D. All right, that works. So we have, let's put a heading in here. Let's stick an image in here. We'll go with some rich text. I want to duplicate this whole section. Seems like it's working. Cool. All right. Yeah, Kyle, that's what I thought too. I've definitely had a max width over there. Not looking, are you? If you click on the body tag and Control D, you get a nice little error. Thanks, dude. Peace out, Kyle. Appreciate you hanging out. This section is relatively easy. We would just have our section background as that image. We'll go with this one. And then what sort of overlay do we have on top of this one? There it is right there. We'll go image overlay just like that. And then we have a heading. We have some text and a button. That font I don't have, so we'll just stick this one in for now. JDM car importers. We'll stick in some text. It won't let me copy that, which is not ideal. There we go. And then that button will be kind of cool. So we're going to make that here in just a moment. And on this section, I'm going to go typography, or color is going to be white. And then this text is limited to 548 pixels wide. So we're going to go with max width of 548 and width of 100%. And then let's go ahead and add in I believe we're going to do, how do we want to do this? Maybe a link wrapper? Let's see, probably a link wrapper, so we have some more flexibility in our dynamic options here. So our main background color, might be a couple ways we set this up. I'm not 100% sure yet. Give me the color. What? Oh, there it is. Maybe I'm just blind. I completely missed that. We're going to go with background color. I don't know exactly what that said. Something like that. Then, actually, I want to call this one button primary as my class. So I will quickly just remove this background color off that. Our background color will be this pink. Typography is going to be white. What's our spacing look like here? So we got 13 pixels top and bottom and 21 left and right. So 13, 13, 21, 21, 13. There we go. Taylor, hello, mate. I don't remember what this CTA is here. Let's go with view inventory. I wish these had a little bit more indentation. It's a little bit hard to figure out what's actually inside of what container. With just a little bit more indentation, I feel like it would help quite a bit. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but my initial interpretation of this is that a little more spacing would definitely go a long way. So we now have this little arrow icon with this white background section, and that appears. Okay, we have an inverted section here. Interesting. Oh no, it's not inverted. It's just a little bit different because the pink border goes all the way around it. Let's see, how do I want to do that? Well, first of all, we could, dangerous, I know. We could totally go with an after pseudo on this. I don't think that's necessarily what we want to do. But we do need this icon. This looks like a material icon, if I had to guess. I might just go ahead and be cheap and export this because I don't feel like fiddling with material icons right now. Let's go with, I don't really like what I'm about to do. Sticking in an icon like this, it doesn't really feel right. I'd rather go SVG, but it's going to be such a mess. But I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine. Would we go another div with a background color of white and then actually drag that image inside of our div? Ooh, there we go. Look at that. We just found a use case for dragging stuff in the structure panel that seemed to work pretty well. Michael, welcome back. And then our button primary, we would go with horizontal. Looks like actually we would want to drop off our top padding here. And then perhaps we would change our image to, how big was that? A little icon, 28. Width of 28 and height of 28. And then I would add the padding, I believe, to this div. So 13, 13, 21. And then on our main button over here, drop off that padding as well. Our image, let's go margin left, margin left and right auto, which didn't work. So instead, we're going to go with center in our div. Why is it not working? Why did that not work? What in the world? Oh. So it was technically centered, it just didn't have the right padding. What's our gap there? 36. So 13. Let's go with 21, just on both sides. Make it nice and easy. No, we're not going to do that actually. 11. Isn't it funny how you get into this stuff and you're like, man, that looks so simple. And then you get in and you're like, actually. But then again, most of you guys probably are far better at this than me. Okay, so then we just need a little clip path action. So we're probably going to need a little bit more spacing. Let's go with, what were we having, like 21 there? And then on our div, I closed out of the clip path creator, but it's the exact same angle, is it not? Yes. So we could just simply steal it off of our left div here. But I actually wanted it on this one. I was going to do the white on that, but I don't think that's actually what we want. So on the link wrapper, that's its whole container though. Do I scrap the padding in the pink and give it to the text? Let's do this. I'm going to change this up a little bit. Oh, actually, I can keep that class. For your header div should be relative, not the nested div. I think it is. I think header is already set as relative. Yeah, it is. And then, is this one still relative? No, it's not. Back to my button primary. I want to take off the padding on this one. Oh, there's only that right there. So it already is on the text, which is fine. Oh, actually, I'm going to do margin because we already have margin on that side. And then we would go with our clip on this is the left div, though. That's not what I want. It's always something with old Jonathan, isn't it? Always, always. Holy crap. I kind of want to scrap this and think about it. Because I want the pink background to extend all the way over. I guess I am going to change this to an SVG. That's part of my problem. Can you not adjust the bottom right border on the text div? I'll go back. Can you not adjust the bottom right border? I'm not following, but I think my laziness here of not using an SVG is biting me because I have this image doesn't give me as much flexibility, because what I really wanted to do was have the pink just extend the whole way. Thanks, Elijah. Appreciate you hanging out. Thanks for dropping the RC. I'm glad to check it out. Everything seems great. So you guys did an awesome job. I appreciate all the hard work, and I'm excited to keep this thing rocking. So thanks for dropping it, dude. We'll see you soon. All right. What if we go... I think I'm going to change this up again. So we got our text, we got view inventory. Let's take this out of here. Our button primary, we had 20, let's see, no, it's 13, 13, 21, 21. So then what if we go link wrapper, our after state, it's going to have a background of white. Its width is going to be, I don't know, roughly, we'll just set something for now, width of 40, height of 40. And then padding, 13, 13, we could take off the primary padding, top and bottom, and the right, correct? Yep. The background image can just be our little arrow. Background cover, no repeat, left 50 and left 50 and top 50. How big is it? 28. Okay, so I said 40. Let's go with 28 and 28. That's actually working pretty well. This is what I should have done from the beginning, which is what I wanted to do, and I didn't, because I was like, oh, it's going to be easier this way. No, it's not. Good question, KK. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So we do actually need a little bit of margin on that side of it. Yo. And 13 doesn't feel right. It is. Okay. So there's our little button action. So there is an after state. So let's quickly save this and look on the front end. And I wanted to just show you what's actually happening with these after and pseudo states. Let me zoom into this a bit so you can see a bit better. If you're not familiar with this, they're super cool. The before and after states, if you can get them to work right, you can see they do take a little bit of fiddling, are just such a neat asset for you to add to your Oxygen toolbox, just CSS in general. Because what you can do is if you look at this, the after and before states are actually adding a whole nother kind of facet to your element here. So we're actually adding a whole nother element that's this after state. You can style it completely independently of the main element, but it's kind of tied in together with that A-link in this case. So it's super cool. The whole after state has this background image. It's got the width, it's got the color. It's really, really cool. So after states are extremely handy. The other thing that's super cool about this is, of course, I now have this attached to a class. So if I went ahead and let's say I added in another link wrapper here, I wanted to add in another button, I could just simply go button primary as the class that we just worked with, stick in a text element, and we could just change this one to contact us, or something like that. I did actually forget to add this padding. Let's see, how would I do that? I guess I could go with the after state margin left would be like 13 instead of having it on the text. And then that way everything is tied into your class. Just like that. And then the other thing I guess you would want to do is make your typography on the class uppercase to make it all consistent. So it's really cool. With one class now you have that whole thing. The only thing I forgot to do is this little clip path border, which shouldn't be too hard. Let's see. So where did my Oxygen thing go? Here it is, left. We will steal our custom CSS. We're gonna go button primary, custom CSS, and stick that on, and it adds it to the very end. Let me make sure I'm on the original state. I am. That's an interesting one. So how would you solve that? I guess you could just do the reverse, right, on the text. What's up with the renegade look? It's actually just very simply me not getting a haircut since basically when COVID started. I've had one in like the last 2 years, and I used to get one every 6 weeks. So that's that. I assume our gap is roughly like 24 pixels. Is that about right? Oh, come on now. I know I don't have the font. That's fine. Just let me be. That one's only 8. That one's 24. Okay. So we could actually just go gap of 8. We could take our link wrapper, or actually our heading and our text. We could make that a gap of 8 and then change our section gap to 24, something like that. Yeah. Dividus is right. The RC is available in the customer portal right now. That's where I got this from. This is not something exclusive. You can go get it. What if I added this to the after state? I think it's going to be wrong again also because that actually would work though. So I need to do the inverse of this. So I'm going to go back to my clip path generator. I believe, oh no, not this one. Well, I guess it's pretty much the same. I did parallelogram. So we're going to go like this. Copy this. There we go. That's pretty much exactly what we wanted. So really what I did was just the inverse border on the after state here. So if we go with button after, and then I just stuck my custom CSS right in here to attach it to the after state. We probably need a little bit more angle on this, and then it looks like we need a bit more padding on the actual after state to make sure that everything fits. So let's see, actually, it's more to do with the width here. So do we go like 60 wide and then maybe push our image over a bit more? It's probably okay. What I really wanted to do was just give this some more angle. So this one would be like maybe 25, something like that. But I actually want it to just pull over a little bit more. What does it really look like? It's a more sharp corner. Could you just do an overlay? That looks okay, actually. I'm not mad at that, at least as a temporary solution. So yeah, the clip path is very, very effective here because our background of the primary link wrapper element is the pink, which is why when we add the clip path, it still works. Reno Reigns, hold on a second, hold on. If I should know this, I'm gonna be embarrassed. Yes, yep, pretty much. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Oh, the other thing is this section is probably not the right height. How tall is this? 400 pixels. So we could set our section height to 400. We could go with our, our background of top 50%. There we go. And then there's not actually two buttons here. I just wanted to demonstrate the class situation that I was talking about from earlier. And that's about it. So then it looks like there's a bit more height on this. I guess it's because of the line height of the icon I was misrepresenting as 13 pixels. So it's probably more like 20 because it definitely does look a bit thin here. So was it our after state that a lot of this padding was added on? Yes, it was. So maybe like 26 instead of 13. Something like that. Looks a bit better for sure. Nice. All right, very cool. So what else should we take a look at? It's already been over an hour. I really just wanted to get in here, play with Oxygen 4.0 RC and kind of, take a look at how everything was going. Maybe we could do one more thing. What would we have for a hover state on this button, I wonder? I think what I want to do, I don't actually know what the hover color would be on this pink, but I want the background color. What is our hex color again real quick? What I'm going to do is on our hover state, I want the background color to be just a little bit darker like that. I'm going to go add a class that's, or actually I can't add a class here because I need to also apply it to our after state. So I'm just going to apply the transition twice, 0.2 ease in out, and then CSS property will just be all. And then once we come out, actually I needed to add that transition to my original state, not the hover. So it applies both directions. So there we go. Just a faint little hover effect. And then the other thing I wanted to do is the after state. I also want to apply a hover where maybe just that image moves ever so slightly. But what you have to do is stack that. So it needs to be our class here plus the hover plus the after. So that actually needs to take place in a style sheet or in a code block. So let's just go main. It was .button underscore primary. Then we're going to go hover after. And then transform will be translate X, I don't know, maybe like 15 pixels or something. And then, oop, not that right there. We want this here. And then our transition will be 0.2 seconds, ease in, out. I think that'll work. Oh, it actually just stretches it a little bit. That's kind of interesting. It's not quite what I had intended, but it actually is kind of interesting. It's a neat little effect. I wish it didn't bounce back in incorrectly like that. It's not the worst thing in the world. I just wish it didn't snap back like that. I must have one of the CSS timing functions wrong. Ooh, I got to change my state here to hover. Oh, it's not going to let me. Maybe I need to do it on the actual after state itself. Effects, transition, ease in, out, all. There we go. Cool. Neat little hover effect. I highly doubt that's actually what my designer intended for this particular site, but it totally works and it's kind of neat. Little stretch effect to the button there. And that's really just the after state moving and translating because of that tiny little bit of CSS that we just added. So it seems like to me, everything works here. in Oxygen 4.0. What I want to do is upgrade a few sites, clone them, back them up, and then make sure that everything upgrades perfectly fine. There's quite a few sites that I'm stoked to get 4.0 on. The other thing is, if you're a Permaslug member, I have been talking about redoing the Oxygen 4.0 course for some time, and that is definitely coming now that we have the RC. It's pretty safe for me now to go ahead and start recording videos, so I'm stoked on that. There is definitely other cool things. Don't forget about, the repeater ID issue should be fixed. It was when we were in the alpha. We looked at that quite a few months ago now, back in, what was that? I don't even know, January maybe? Something like that. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that became a member this stream, donated already. It's been amazing. If you're still here and you haven't already dropped a like on the stream, please do. Please drop that subscribe button, or hit that subscribe button. Yep, Michael just mentioned that I had taken a look at that before. We could go ahead and look at that real quick. Shouldn't be too hard. I'll just add it in. I want to double check that it does work because I do think it's a pretty big deal. We'll just go with custom post, and then we'll just add in a super simple heading. And ooh, the insert data dialog looks super weird on Windows. We'll go with post title. That's the other thing, is hopefully repeaters are faster now that we have this JSON switch. Let's go quickly add some WP admin posts. So we have hello world. Let's just go with post 1. We'll publish that. We're going to add Taylor looks ready to launch. You're totally right. This one is going to be post 2, publish. And then we'll just quickly look on the home page, and what we should find is that all of these divs now have unique IDs. So let's take a look here. Yes, they do. So our dynamic list is 89-3. The first post is 84-9-1, and then it's 9.2 and 9.3. So there it is. They do have unique IDs, which is awesome. Just making sure lifetime membership will have access to 4.0 course. Yes, absolutely. I also was thinking about doing some other additional courses like page speed and some other things like that, which will also be included as well, but that pricing probably won't be included for those. So seems like a lot of this Oxygen 4.0 stuff is really stable. The big question is right now, how does upgrading from a very substantial site that was on 3.9, for instance, up to 4.0 go? There's a few that I want to try. Unfortunately, the main one I'm concerned about I can't show on stream because it's not quite live yet. It's a client site that's not live, so I wouldn't be able to show that. But there is still plenty more for us to do in the future with this. Let me know in the comments below or in the stream chat here what you guys want to see as far as next videos. And I'm looking at doing some more MetaBox content. I've been playing with that the last couple weeks. I want to get some more videos on these before and after. Pseudo selectors, there's a lot of really cool use cases. Advanced Query Builder, from what I understand, is pretty much all the same. I don't think anything's changed in that. I don't think there's any expansion one way or the other. I'm very interested in North Commerce. If it's better than WooCommerce, woo boy, it's gonna be killer. I am really looking forward to that. I haven't looked at it. I don't even think I've signed up for the beta, to be honest, but I am pretty stoked about that. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of you for hanging out. Let me know what you have as far as thoughts go. If you have any ideas, feel free to reach out. Join the Permaslug Facebook group if you're not already a part of that, and we'll keep things rocking and rolling in the future. Like I said, thank you guys for sticking around. I've been a little bit quiet on videos, and it's been agonizing, to be honest. I've really wanted to get back to this. Of course, streaming has been awesome. You guys all have been wonderful, and thank you for joining. Hopefully you're stoked. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see all of you soon. Until next time. Bye-bye, everybody.